Oil prices fall as Kurdistan region exports resume. Oil prices fell in early trading on Monday, extending losses from last week amid the possibility of resuming exports from oil fields in Iraq's Kurdistan region, while investors await clarity on talks aimed at ending Russia's war in Ukraine. Epicor seeks non-political deals to resume Kurdistan oil exports. The pipeline is ready to flow per Turkey. It was ready back in 2023, as noted in the previous article commented on today. This is seriously a very big deal taking place. Again, the implications are massive on a local, regional and global scale. The impact is going to be a mind-blower to many. Kurdistan oil export, Washington presses and Baghdad faces challenges. I would like to point out that Baghdad is calling BS on some Reuters articles saying the US is threatening sanctions if Kurdistan doesn't start pumping the oil. Both Washington and Baghdad say BS and tells them to stop with the fake news. Everything that we read every day has nothing to do with 1310. Does this international global system have anything to do with 1310? Does the complete overhaul, change, blood transfusion of the banking system, the monetary performance system of Iraq, completely changed? Do you think they didn't change the 1310? Exclusive, 5 Iraqi banks to be banned from US dollar transactions, so it's not 15 banks, only 5 from engaging in US dollars. These are the CBI restrictions and not US sanctions imposed on the banks in Iraq. I repeat, not US sanctions. Many of these Iraqi news media outlets love to exaggerate and tell you these are US sanctions. This is called fake news. Yes, even in Iraq. Iraq is international without a doubt. The problem is they have not released the reason why you are international yet. That will be a new exchange rate with a new denomination of currencies called the lower notes. Iraq moves towards globalization. Implementation of international accounting standards begins in 2026. Inches Reform Committee announced 22% growth in tax revenues, with revenues reaching 4 trillion dinars. Why is that important? Remember, Iraq's valuation is based off of oil. That's not true. There's non-oil and there's tax revenues. Now, that valuation at $3.22 for the dinar back a long time ago was based off only oil. Now they have non-oil. They have growth. There's not even talking about gas. Iraq has a massive amount of revenue streams. Keep that in mind when it comes to the valuation, a real effective exchange rate. Because they're going to be able to use real fundamentals. Take it seriously, this is for real. It's going to be big money and it's going to have a global impact. Is there a new USDN? No new US currency called USDN has been officially announced by the US Department of the Treasury. A new US currency, USDN, has been debunked as a false claim. Seriously, this has been a roller coaster ride and none of us are in need of more dinar mythology. There are no redemption centers, no 800 numbers, no notifications, no USDN, no contract rates, no bank is coming to your house to exchange your currency, no $75 IQD, no $2 VND, no 6,000 redemption centers, and no bonds. Get a grip. This will be a no fanfare, no crowds, no public announcement, quiet event. Calm down and don't fall for this foolishness. The RV will not be televised. I love the fact that Saleh is constantly coming out every day to talk to you Iraqi citizens about the success of their banking and monetary reform education. This time he tells the Iraqi citizens that your banking reform is going through a major change. I call it a paradigm shift. It is tremendous what is going on. You're not just a financial hub. There are so many ways he can tell you Iraqi citizens that there is a new exchange rate coming, but the evidence is all around you. Every day there's an announcement on your television in order to soften the shock of what is soon to be announced, a new exchange rate. Reports More Reform Committee announces 22% growth in tax revenues, with revenues reaching 4 trillion dinars. The Trump administration is pressuring Iraq. Iraq is bracing for a possible increase in U.S. sanctions. Article: Trump pressuring Iraq to restart Kurdish oil exports via Turkey or face sanctions. The Trump administration during the past 2 weeks has sent Iraq direct messages to dismantle armed factions. The number of sanctioned banks reached 28 out of 44 banks operating in Iraq. The Trump administration is putting pressure on Iraq to dismantle, disarm and disconnect from Iran on all levels. Trump gives Baghdad a choice: export Kurdistan's oil or face sanctions like Iran. There is a plan and there is a way to get the oil flowing. This tells us there's clear pressure on Iraq to stay the course. This news is somewhat intense. It suggests power players are making sure Iraq stays on board with her reforms. I suspect this pressure is going to be used to keep Iraq on track and get this going. The heat is up and I like it. It's good. Iraqi Minister of Planning, Mohammed Ali Tamim, stated today, Monday, that the population census indicators will contribute to diagnosing various sectors and distributing resources fairly among Iraq's governorates. This came in a speech he gave during the conference announcing the final results of the general census, which was organized by the Ministry of Planning. Tamim also explained that the population census represents a distinct Iraqi story, and today we celebrate the achievement of one of the most difficult projects that Iraq has witnessed, and it is a success that was achieved through government determination. He added, "This is the first time that Iraq has been able to conduct a population census in 4 decades, and the results will help the government distribute resources fairly among all governorates." He pointed out that the development reality will be different after the census is conducted, as the new indicators provide vital information about buildings, economic activity, education, services, and other data, which will contribute to improving the performance of various sectors. Tamim expressed his thanks for the good level of cooperation between the ministries of planning and the legislative and judicial authorities, in addition to the support provided by the United Nations Population Fund and other UN agencies, pointing out the importance of coordination with the Census Authority in the Kurdistan region to achieve the success of this national project. It is worth noting that the Ministry of Planning later announced the basic results of the general population census, where the population of Iraq reached 46,118,000 people, which represents an increase compared to the initial results that showed the number was 45,407,000 people. The ministry also provided a comprehensive review of the figures for various social categories, including economic, marital, educational, and housing status, with special details for the Kurdistan region. The financial advisor to the Prime Minister, Wazir Mohammed Salih, stated today, Monday, that the government has developed an economic approach to enhance growth and reduce unemployment, while noting that the new industrial cities will be the cornerstone of the economic renaissance. Salih stated, in a statement to the official agency, that the Sudanese government has developed a clear economic approach to enhance the national economy, represented by raising growth rates in the non-oil gross domestic product by no less than 5%, in addition to gradually reducing unemployment rates to stabilize at 4%